Hello everyone and welcome back to Austin Talks, where today we are doing the history of music part 5 with the man's return.
Here's Dad, John.
Yes, he is back for another very good, hopefully very good episode. And I actually enjoyed making this video, so I'm not going to ramble on for too long, so let's just get right into it. First off with... So this is split into certain, this video is split into aspects. The first is active bands. So for definitions of active bands is bands that still release music to this day or didn't disband for their whole time of career. So that's what like active bands is. And the first one is, if I remember correctly, Green Day? Yes. So Green Day was formed in the late 1980s, and they were actually a really good band, and they really still are. They don't release much music now, but they technically still they are like still together. Their most popular song is Boulevard of Broken Dreams, which was released in 2004, which was on one of the most popular albums, American Idiot, which did end up becoming the most popular album after its release. Would you consider them a punk rock band?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. They're a modern punk rock band, bit between grunge and punk, really. Yeah, but they started off they started off in the late 80s, sorry, but it didn't come to the forefront till early 2000s, really. As you say, with American Idiot and that, but they are very much a punk band. But don't forget they started around the Nirvana time and the grunge era of music, and they were outshone by people like Nirvana and that, where I don't know if the Nirvana weren't so popular and that, and Kurt Cobain, I think they would have been up there at the forefront. But they've always been a good band, and they still tour today, and though they've got older and that, they are still a very, very good live band by all accounts. So unfortunately I haven't seen them yet, but they're very good.
I do think having bands with specific types of rock, for this like grunge punk rock, is actually good. It's not something you really see much, but yeah, Green Day are a very good band, and yeah. Next one.
On a good live show by all accounts.
I put this on there,
Guns
especially.
N' Roses, wow.
I've tried to keep a lot of these writings a bit short because I know he'd like to talk for a bit. So, so one of my favourite bands of all time that still run today is Guns N' Roses. So he had the fortunate opportunity to go and see them, but he nearly went to go and see them twice.
Yeah.
But I had exams. So fun.
Yeah.
And my favourite song, you can call me, typical, but is Sweet Child of Mine. But yes, it's very generic, but it's still such a good song. They formed in 1985, led by Axl Rose and lead guitarist Slash, and I would argue probably maybe the best guitarist.
Yeah, probably one of the best, certainly rock guitarists, and hit some amazing licks and riffs, which are known worldwide, and everyone tries to play the Sweet Child of Mine. And watching him, I would say when I see him play do Arena, Axl Rose was ill. He was ill, but we had the pleasure of watching Slash do about a 7-minute solo through November Rain. If anyone's watched the video of November Rain, he's probably up. It's way well up there with Sweet Child of Mine. But they are active today, and they don't so much release music there, but they're still touring. They've had so many ups and downs in the past with arguments and rifts between Slash and Axl Rose. Axl Rose had health problems. Slash has gone off and done side projects with people like what's his name, Miles Davis. He did the Velvet Underground some years ago as a sideline project. He played on He's played on tracks like Ordinary Man, like with Ozzy Osbourne. So yeah, he's certainly still active. As a band, yes, they're active touring, few and far between, but they're still good live, without a doubt. An Appetite for Disaster, he's still probably a great album to listen to.
Yeah, thanks for rubbing it in. Yeah. Guns N' Roses have only about 9 albums, which, yeah, is not a lot, but 6 of them are studio albums. I do believe the rest are either compilation or live. But yeah, as he says, like, they don't release much music now, but it's just still. I would like to go and see them.
Yeah, one day. Still touring. If Axl Rose can survive.
It's a great way to put it. Yeah.
There had to be the Foo Fighters, didn't there?
It's like driving the knife in. My dad had, again, the other opportunity to go and see Foo Fighters, and you loved it, didn't you?
Oh, amazing. It was one of my bucket lists, and I'd go and see them again in a heartbeat.
The Foo Fighters were a rock band that was formed in 1994, was formed by former Nirvana drummer Dave Grohl. They have released 11 studio albums and 57 singles, and counting.
Yeah.
They still release music to this day. Very good music as well. So their biggest album was The Color and Shape, which included like iconic songs, Hero, Everlong, and Monkey Wrench. Did they play all of them when you went against it?
Every single one of them. And some of their new stuff as well. And so you've got to say that Dave Grohl's been through it. He's like a phoenix, really. Comes out of the ashes. Like when Kurt Cobain died, it was just like devastating. They were at the peak, absolutely at the peak they were. And sadly, Kurt Cobain died. I'd advise anyone to read or listen to his autobiography, The Storyteller. It's a great read, and if you get a chance to read and listen to the audiobook, it's actually read by him, which just adds to it. But they've been through some tragedy, even recently, with the passing of Taylor Hawkins, the drummer. Him and Dave Grohl were like brothers. And it was just all of a sudden, no lead up to it, nothing. It just all of a sudden, accidental drug overdose and that. But they've got another drummer. They've gone back to touring. They've gone back to releasing new music and that. And he just wants to carry on. He's such a great guy. Just watching interviews and all that lot. And they've adapted the music over the years. Say when Foo Fighters first started, it was very much a punk and heavy rock. Dave Grohl's started with a punk band, same as Pat Smear. Started with a punk band. Nate Mandel they were all in punk bands to start off with. But then they've moved with the times. They've even had concept albums like DGs, and they've even done a film, Studio 606. Studio 666, 606, which is actually the name of their studio. But they just keep going, and say fantastic live. So I hope they go on.
I do want to go and see them. Same with Guns N' Roses, if I ever get the chance.
Yeah, you'll get a chance eventually.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Next one, I think, so I added some. I don't know if these they actually make music anymore, but they are still a good band. So once again, another rock band that was formed in 2001. But later, so they are still very popular to this day, and they do have some really good music, and they released 11 albums. The latest being last year in 2023. So I do think they still make music.
Yeah.
So I didn't put these in the deactive or disbanded ones that come back together or have very different variants, because the name The Killers only came around in 2001. and but because they went through many drummers and many guitarists, but they never actually took the name until 2001. So, which means they were only established during that year. My favorite songs were Mr. Brightside and Human. They are really good songs. But what about you? I know you I know you have their playlist. I just don't know if you actually listen to them.
I've seen them live. 2019, I see them live. They're really good, really, really good. Probably the best album of Sam's Town. They did.
Why?
They did the soundtrack for what was it? I can't remember the film now. It was a spoof horror film.
What
with
is that?
with Sean Pegg. I can't remember the film, but it's good. It's very good. They did the soundtrack for that. But Brendan Flowers, the lead singer, he's gone off and done his solo stuff and a few side projects and that. But they're still active and still a very good band. Probably more of a softer rock band, but they do some, say, Mr. Brightside. They must do some excellent tracks, single tracks, and some really good albums, studio albums. And live, they are good, very good, well worth seeing.
Yeah, I like this next one because I know my dad doesn't like them, and I really my brother's seen them live.
Yeah, I'm not.
Why though? Why?
When the media consider them as new Beatles, they're nowhere near the new Beatles. But yeah, some of the songs I just find them very, very depressing in their style of music. But they are, especially for the younger generation, are a phenomenal band. And so, Son's seen them live, and he said they are absolutely amazing live. So hopefully they are due to drop another album, which I probably will listen to.
I'm really annoyed about this because I've actually tried to look everywhere for this album. I can't find it anywhere.
I'll have a look for it.
Because they apparently released it on the 28th, and it's called The End of the Road. It's their final album, and I was really basically on the 28th. I tried to looking for it for so long, and I couldn't find it, and it was really frustrating.
I'll have a look for it.
Yeah, but you actually learn about them in GCSE media, which is and they actually understand what they were like when they first started, but it's really weird how because while they were very popular then they were extremely popular. They were considered like the new Beatles, but
for a younger generation, possibly yes.
Yeah. But I don't know why. So their numbers went down. I would right after AM was released, and then basically since 2019 and early 2020, it's just shot back up.
Yeah, they came back to popularity, didn't they?
Yeah, but they were. AM is my personal favorite album. Again, that's very generic. I mean, 505, and then I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floors is still great, amazing songs as well. So yeah. Arctic Monkeys, very good. I love them. You have your own opinion.
Yeah.
Some just. I mean, I always say this. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, but some opinions are just wrong.
Oh, thanks.
No, obviously you're entitled to an opinion. So now we're gonna move on to deactive. So it's the bands that don't make music or tour. But some that disbanded, I can't speak, and made individual music. There is a few on here, a few good ones, I hope. So, first off, the Beatles. I'm actually not going to read the text anymore, if anyone would like to read that, because it's basically just a load of facts. So, I guess take it away, Dad.
Well, they launched so many other bands that you listen to now, influential with so many styles of music. They moved on with their music from the late 50s. They started through the 60s, and so you had Beatlemania. They were absolutely at the top of the game all over the world throughout the 60s, and they changed styles of music, and they've got some amazing albums. Sgt. Pepper's is an amazing album. You could probably class it as probably the first concept album. Abbey Road, the White Album, Revolver, which changed changed again their style of music. If everyone has a chance to watch Get Back, it's long. It is long.
You have encouraged me to watch that. I
Yeah.
just don't have time.
It's pretty much, was it 9 hours of footage
Oh
of
my
before
Lord.
they recorded. Once they got back together, because they all went off and did their own side projects and that. John Lennon went on his own.
They actually only lasted for 10 years.
Yeah, but they still came back together. You had Paul McCartney started his own band with his wife, Wings, and that, and were very popular. Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, Wings. They.
Do you realise how much research I did on all of these?
Yeah, just not enough. But no, they. But no, they all went up and did a lot of side projects. George Harrison played with people like Clapton and that, and Ringo Starr did his own things as well. But they came back together to do Get Back and that, and it was an amazing concert as well on a rooftop. You could say that who launched them was George Martin, their manager, and you just let them go with it. So, but they've been influential in so many ways with styles of music throughout the years. And probably will still, along with them and the Rolling Stones, probably two of the greatest bands that has ever come out of the UK.
I may have to do like a part 2 to the types of bands, because I know there's. I mean, I don't even have Queen on here. I missed a lot. I know that.
Wow.
Hey, you said when I brought this up with you, you said it's fine.
Yeah.
So don't go changing your mind. But yeah, I still, like, every day now, I basically listen to at least one Beatles song. Call me sad all you want, but I always listen to one. Strawberry Fields Forever is my favourite. What's your favourite, actually?
Yesterday.
Yeah, no, I asked for your favourite song.
Yesterday.
I'm so funny.
That's a rib splitter.
Don't ever say that. Okay, next one. Yeah, Beatles, amazing, phenomenal band, and they are actually called the most influential band out there, and it's definitely held that title. Oh, my favourite.
Dire Straits.
Absolutely.
Wow. They did so much different music.
Really?
If you wouldn't believe that they're actually a Newcastle band, or Martin Knopfler's from Newcastle and that. But the style of music they played, and he's always said you had American music. They were trying a lot. They were talking about the American cities and things like that. He wanted to bring that to the UK. And you listen to some of the songs, you wouldn't even realise he was talking about the UK. Or Newcastle and the time and the things like that. But he stopped playing when they were at their top of the game. And he's got such his own style of playing the guitar, and different types of guitars, and he gets the best out of those different types of guitars. And if you listen to the music, different tracks like Brothers in Arms, Songs of Swing, Money for Nothing.
All of which are on my playlist.
They're all different styles of music, and played on different types of guitars and that. And he's just a master when it comes to that type of playing the guitar.
Personally, I took offence to that when I was searching more about the Dire Straits. They're classified as a punk band. I take offence to that.
They were on the back end of the punk era. That was the thing. Even the police.
It doesn't mean they should be classed as that.
The police were classed as a punk band.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, they're nothing like a punk band.
It was
that era. It was that era.
Yeah, but personally, my favourite band, and my favourite song. My favourite song is definitely Brothers in Arms. It never used to be. It used to be Salt in the Swings, but I've definitely now.
Some earlier stuff, Telegraph Road and all that, or Once Upon a Time in the West, and even his solo stuff and that is just brilliant stuff.
Yeah, cool. Which one is it? Is that his brother?
No.
That one?
Yeah.
But his brother left. When his brother left, I think they did carry on for a while, but he was the touring and that just wiped them out. They were doing their Brothers in Arms tour was one of the biggest grossing concerts at the time, and they were hopscotching the tours, the staging. They had 3 sets of stages, And they were hopscotching all over the world with it. So, yeah.
Yeah, they will probably always be my favourite band, that's for sure.
Oasis,
okay,
wow.
I put them on here, and I probably should have chosen a replacement.
No.
What?
No.
You want to talk about them?
Yeah, they were a massive influence. They've been a massive. They were influenced by the Beatles.
Yeah, they were influenced by the Beatles, but can you give me 3 examples of people who they influenced?
I don't think. Well, I think probably the music that came out of Manchester. They were one of the first Manchester bands that came out. It was just that time. They're probably influential to things like people like the Arctic Monkeys anyway, because it was that type of music that came together. There was at the time 80s music was like 80s and 90s music was some of the best in the world. These two came out of it. Okay, you either liked it was like Marmite. You either liked them or you hated them. But they had that attitude. They had that edge. They were a British band, 110%, right? And they had attitude. Yes, they were dicks sometimes, but they were absolutely brilliant.
I'd rather you. Okay.
Absolutely brilliant they were, and they could be, but they fought. They were fought like cat and dog, and they won't get back together. They won't reform. But I'll tell you one thing: it will be $1 billion concert tour if they ever do it. One-off concert.
Do you reckon?
You couldn't even put a figure on it.
My question is: do you think they're better together or individually? I don't know. I can verify this now. Does Liam actually make his own stuff?
Yeah.
I haven't really. I don't think I've heard any of his own stuff,
Yeah.
but I've definitely heard Noel's, and his is.
I prefer Noel Gallagher's music and singing style to Liam, but the thing is, I think they're good. They're good apart, but they're great together. But they just can't. They're just at each other's throats all the times. They won't even talk to each other. As brothers, they won't even talk to each other. But if they ever had a concert back at Oasis, you wouldn't get tickets. The tickets would be sold out in 5 seconds. I think it's just unbelievable how quick they would sell out.
That is actually really impressive.
It's one of the most anticipated concerts in the world, I think, especially in the UK. I'd pay hundreds of pounds to go and see it.
No, I think Mum would kill you if you did that.
Yeah, I've seen Noel Gallagher on stage.
Oh, for God's sake! Is there anyone you haven't seen on? I know you haven't seen Dire Straits live.
Dire Straits,
and I hope you don't. Before
Red Hot Chili Peppers I've seen, but I've seen Noel on stage with Paul Weller.
Ah, okay. All right.
Oh.
Okay, I tried to do a lot of I did a lot of research, but you know more about them I do. I only know 3 songs of theirs.
Peter Green, Mick Fleetwood, John McVie. It was three that got great. They just started a band, blues band, and it went from. They had a lot of trials and tribulations and all that lot in the early 60s and all that lot, and 70s and that. But so the story goes, they were in a studio in the US, and it's the same studio that's actually in a documentary with Dave Grohl called Reel to Reel. And it's to do with the studio and the mixing desk they had. But the story goes that Mick Fleetwood and John McVie and someone else were in the studio recording. Christine, or what was Christine McVie, but she became Christine Perfect later on. That they were listening, they could hear Stevie Nicks and Jeff Buckingham in another studio, and they liked his style of guitar playing, and they wanted another guitarist, and they said they came as a package. And and then they came into the band. You had Stevie Nicks, had a very rough and gruff voice, and Jeff Buckingham had an amazing style of playing guitar, and it formed the modern sound of Fleetwood Mac. But they still had so many troubles. The album Rumours, they were going through divorces. They were going there.
That is their most popular album.
Yeah, they had drug, alcohol problems and that all the way through, but they went on to record even better albums and release better songs, I think. But yeah, a great band. Sadly, Christine Perfect passed away. They kicked Jeff Buckingham out of the band for reasons unknown. Well, reasons are rumoured, but unknown. But they've said that without Christine Perfect and that they will not play again.
Okay, so I did put them in the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was surprised that they went through 13 people, 13 members. That is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to just cover this. In the very first video I did, so who would you choose more, Tom Petty or AC/DC? That was one of them. I asked my dad, and he said Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I completely get it now. I really do. And just I have so many songs of theirs on my playlist.
Yeah, he's just Tom Petty as an artist solo or with the Heartbreakers. That was a brilliant rock songwriter.
If you get the chance to listen to Wildflowers, it's a very good album.
And that was his solo album. He wanted to come away and change his style of music, and it didn't. The style of music changed slightly, but he was just so prolific in the 70s but I don't believe he ever got the recognition he deserved
Absolutely
as an
not,
artist. No. But he's played with some great players and great artists over the years, and had some amazing collaborations with people like Rick Rubin as a producer. Jeff Lynne produced one of his most popular albums as Under the Heartbreakers and that, and then it was Rick Rubin that produced Wildflowers with him, which Rick Rubin as a producer never ever thought he'd ever get a chance to do, because he was so connected with Jeff Lynne, which then goes on to the connection with the Travelling Wilburys.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just great player, great musician, great songwriter, and by all accounts they were good live. And I missed many years ago when I was in America, in Florida, I missed the opportunity to go and see him. I flew back the day before. Him and Steve Winwood were playing in
oh, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, in Orlando. Yeah. Oh no, it does hurt. Yeah, it's one of life's missed opportunities.
That's rough.
Never to be seen again.
Ouch. Yeah. He did unfortunately pass away in 2017, which was actually when they officially disbanded. But obviously they can I didn't quite wrap my head around the concept of that. They can still be a part of a band and produce a solo album.
Yeah.
That just never clocked to me.
Yeah.
But
it's remastered. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so this is the last stuff I would like to go through, and I'm quite aware of how long this video is already, but no, we've only got two more. The band, so the supergroup is a mixture of other bands, popular groups that are that have been formed into one band. So there's only two that I really wanted to talk about. The first one being, only because I remember, is the Travelling Wilburys. So I know them because they because my dad, and they are actually a quite a good song, good band even, and my favourite song is what's it called, The End of the Line, and for those who don't know, excuse me, and they were another super band that consisted of Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne of ELO, George Harrison, Royal,
Who was George Harrison?
The Beatles.
Yeah.
Roy Orbison and Bob Dylan, and it was one of this band only lasted for about 3 years after, but mainly stopped in 1991 after the death of Roy Orbison. Now, I don't know much more about that, but so this is why
It was a brainchild of, I think George Harrison wanted to. They were all friends basically, and they were just in the same. It was one of those all the stars are aligned. It was basically it was a brainchild of George Harrison and Jeff Lynne really. They just said, wouldn't it be good if we could have a super group? And they said, well, who would you have in a super group? And George Harrison said, I'd have Bob Dylan and Roy Orbison, and it was a case of Jeff Lynne. He's a what would you say? He's an eccentric. If you watch any of the documentaries, he's asked. Paul McCartney was asked. I can't say what he thought of Jeff Lynne, but he turned around and said it'd be easy to ask what instruments he can't play and what he can play. And he's been one of the biggest producers, but it was George Harrison's brainchild to bring them together. They just started jamming. They were all in the same country at the same time, and it just went on from there. And Tom Petty, and they've all got different styles of music. Bob Dylan, very much a folk music-y type of singer and that. But if you have the opportunity, just listen to them, because I think they are, as a super group, probably one of the ultimates.
Yeah. So now this last one is I don't know if a lot of people will know this, but so the latest supergroup is beyond super, more ridiculous than if anything, is called Guitar Heroes. So as of recent news, it was literally I think a couple weeks ago. There is new music supergroup that has been formed and has gotten the biggest roster ever, with some of the biggest names. So it is led by lead guitarist and lead singer of Dire Straits, Mark Knopfler. And this isn't the first he's formed. Actually, in 1986, he formed the Notting Hillbillies, and which unfortunately disbanded in 2002, which is actually still quite long, though. This shows that he has definitely experience making these types of bands, and the roster is good. And they will be performing, as you can see, a new version of Going Home, which is the theme for Local Hero, which is... So instrumental-wise, my favourite, but still going with Brothers in Arms on this one. I'm actually really excited for this. I mean, I didn't put the list of how many people are because I think the poster is enough.
Yeah.
But
people are Slash, Joan Jett, David Gilmour, Ringo Starr's playing it, Bruce Springsteen. You just got some Roger Daltrey, and Paul accounts it's to do with cancer, youth cancer. Is it youth cancer or is it just? I think
it's cancer and overall.
But I don't know if anyone knows, or many people know, but Roger Daltrey is the patron of the Youth Cancer Trust, and they do a concert every year with different stars, usually at the Royal Albert Hall. He gets people involved and for songs for charity and that. They say all of it goes to charity. But this is, I don't know if you know, Local Hero is they play it at every home game for Newcastle United as well. But
they play the Local Hero. They play Going Home at Newcastle.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, every home game. Home game.
Officially, I'm now Newcastle. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no chance. But yeah, so I can't wait to see this. You got Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath in now. Just looking at a picture, you've got Brian May, you've got Ronnie Wood.
It's like playing Where's Waldo?
you got Brian May there, Ronnie Wood there, Sheryl Crow's there as well. As I said, Joan Jett's there. Eric Clapton.
Where is he?
Eric Clapton's down here.
I totally saw him.
I'm trying to think of other ones you got there. Yeah, you got some amazing players there.
Yeah.
Hank Marvin as well up the top there. There you go.
Yeah. I do. I would like to see this because there's actually a preview on YouTube of the Going Home theme. It releases on the 8th of March.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Not long now.
Yes, it's only 6 days. I couldn't count for a second. So yeah, that's the latest supergroup out of that, and that also concludes a nearly 40-minute video. Actually, so I love how I actually say every time before we record, try and keep it short and sweet. That we only accomplished that once.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, everyone, that is the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoy, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment what else you would like to see on the channel. And we have, as much as that was a very long, episode, we have got some more coming soon. So yes, hopefully stay tuned for that. So without further ado, I hope you all have a tremendous and amazing day, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Thank you very much.
Bye.